Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OSC as we have returned with the grand finals of the StarCraft Evolution League Full Championship 2024. The finals, of course, are upon us. It's been a very, very intense couple of weeks here of SEL, going through the qualifiers, into the group stage, into the playoffs, and now into the grand finals. And two very unlikely players have made it here. I remember coming into this, I was rating Shin quite highly. I was looking forward. I was rating Shin quite highly here in this mod, but Shin went down early on in the playoffs to this player here, to Dark, in that ZvZ. That was a crazy ZvZ, and I do actually still stand by Shin being maybe a little bit stronger in some of these other matchups, but Dark was able to flex his Zerg versus Zerg, was able to bring Shin down. Likewise, Spirit, he popped off in the PvP portion of the bracket. Quarterfinals and semifinals, purely TvT for Spirit, and Spirit clearly shows his prowess in the Terran versus Terran matchup. But what about the Terran versus Zerg? This is a matchup that we have not seen from these two players the entire playoffs. Both players have avoided other respective Zerg or Terran players. And now we're facing off. Now we are facing off here in a best of 9 grand finals. To reiterate how the seeding or how the map or race picking works here, the higher seed does pick with their preferred race of choice. Coming into this, Dark is going to be picking SE2 Zerg in game 1. Spirit is going to be Brutal Terran, and from there, losers pick. Loser will pick which race they are going to commit to in the following game. So that is how the format does work, and here we go. We're jumping on into game 1. We're going to be loading into Whispers of Gold. Let's go. No, let us go. And again, I'm pretty excited here to see this matchup just because it's ZvT. Who is not excited for a ZvT? For a Zerg versus Terran. Let's go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the Polish Brood War Terran player. It is Spirit. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the SE2 Red Zerg. It is Dark Battalion Esports. We go. Alright, settling in again. Welcome one and all to StarCraft Evolution. This is a mod that brings together Brood War and SC2 and is of course balanced specifically for Brood War versus SC2 as well. It's been a very fun and refreshing league to cover, especially here during the off-season of EPT. Usually we do only cover StarCraft on this channel, StarCraft 2 specifically, but it's been fun to dabble in StarCraft Evolution as well. Has been a lot of fun, has been quite enjoyable here. As Dark is going to be opening up Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener so far. At least going for the hatch first. We'll see if he goes gasless, and if Dark does go for a faster third base, but we are loading into Whispers of Gold. And what does that mean? Whispers of Gold is a very strong map for aggression, for all-ins. We've seen many an all-in be successful on Whispers of Gold, so it can be quite risky being too greedy. There it is. Gas is being taken. Dark is going hatch, gas, pool. Standard opener out of Dark. Meanwhile, Spirit back at home going CC first. CC first out of Spirit. Again, Spirit is known for his greed. He's known for cutting corners, and whenever he can, he will attempt to get away with a faster command center. Now, this is risky against Dark, especially with Dark playing SE2, because Dark is so aggressive. And if he does smell weakness, if he does notice that you have gone for a greedy build, he's not afraid to throw down a fast Roach Horn and go for a Roach Rush. He is not afraid to do so. And the Overlord will soon confirm. Behind this, we do have Spirit, of course, getting to his CC. Spirit, he did skip his SCV scout. So no SCV scouts, no scout whatsoever. Going for a third CC before, oh my god, before Factory and before Starport, before the first Vax is even done. Speaking of cutting corners, speaking of being greedy, again, this is what Spirit is known for, but this is one step too far. Third CC before Starport, before Factory, before anything else. Hyper greed here from Spirit. Ay. But does he get away with it? Remember, he did get away with a similar build here previously in the TVTs. He's just always one to just cut corners, throw down CCs. Dark is not fully aware. He does confirm the CC first. He knows that. He's aware of the faster command center, but he doesn't know about the third command center. So third CC into a 3 Rax, I would imagine, with 1 and now a second Rax into Stim, into a bio-heavy composition. We'll see. We shall see. No fear, only Spirit. Exactly. Academy has in place under the Overlord, so it's going to be that 2-1 Stim follow-up. It makes sense to embrace Mass Marine. And we're going for a Bane Bust. Again, as I mentioned before, Dark, if he sees you being greedy, he is not afraid. He is not afraid to just commit, to double down, throw down a Roach Warren, throw down a Bailey Nest, to just go for an all-in then and there. And Dark is going for an all-in. And what is Spirit going to have to defend? Oh, he's got some... Let's go! He's got some Fire Bats! I mean, Spirit, he's blind. Like, Spirit... He is blindly going into Fire Bats. I like this. I really do like this here from Spirit. Considering how many corners he is cutting, he's assuming that aggression is coming his way. What I would like even more, a bunker. I would love a bunker here for Spirit for the time being. The natural is wide open. Fire Bats will help in the defense, but is that going to be enough without a bunker? As Bailings are morphing in, bearing in mind Dark doesn't know what he's going into. He doesn't know that there are Fire Bats already ready for him, that they're already waiting. The wall is getting up and running. It's almost a full wall. More Marines are amassing. Stim is almost done. We're getting there. And Dark is now to pull the trigger. And that's 4 Fire Bats. Oh my, that's a lot of fire. That's a lot of bats. And here we go. Darky does commit. Bailings roll in. Fire Bats kept hidden. Up. And their shot's going to be going off. Do the Bailings connect? They do waddle in. Nice spread here from Spirits. Lings, they bust into the mineral line. Oh god, a lot of SCVs are going to be going down. The Bailings, they are caught out by the Fire Bats, but the Lings, they wreak havoc. There's one more Bailing waddling in, but it looks like Spirit, he will defend. Yeah, he shuts down the Lings, shuts down the Bailings. He holds. Spirit does hold. He will lose 9 SCVs, but remember, Dark is the one that's all in. Spirit, he has a higher worker count already because of the 3rd CC. So very nice spread there from Spirit. He did avoid most of that splash damage. 3rd CC's up and running, making 3 SCVs at a time. And Spirit, he is still up in workers. 35 SCVs to the 29 drones of Dark. The all-in, not successful. And again, like going for the blind Fire Bats was the call. Was the call to make. So really nice decision making here from Spirit. Going into a 4-axe follow-up. Stim is done. Now can get into medics even, and settle in. And Dark is in a bit of trouble here. He still did invest into all these Lings, but he has to make this worth his time here. He has to gain some kind of value. Now he's droning. Now he's taking a very late 3rd base. Very late 3rd out of Dark. Did Dark even scout? He doesn't even know. Doesn't even know how far behind he is, as he did not get eyes on the 3rd CC. So Dark is still in the dark. Taking into Lair, going for his own Eva chamber. Trying to settle in. And the best that Dark can hope for here is delay the expansion, delay the 3rd base. But to be honest, with this kind of army, with 5 Fire Bats, with all these Marines, I feel like Spirit, he should be able to expand. Like, these Lings should not be able to threaten him. As Lings, they do delay the 3rd by a couple of seconds, but the army can respond. Yeah, there's a cancel. CC lands, the army does rotate over. I would still like to see, like, a bunker here, but it's fine. There we go, bunker at the 3rd. Is setting up. We can see Dark trying to get a run by going at the natural. But Spirit is in position. Medics finally have arrived. And he's good to go. Now, from the side of Dark, trying to go into a macro game from here is going to be very difficult. There's still a lot of pressure on Dark to get some kind of counter damage. He has to do some economic damage, whether it's in the natural, whether it's at the 3rd base. There is still a lot of pressure on Dark as he is still behind. As he's attempting to stabilize. More Fire Bats on the way. I think there was someone a couple of days ago, I think it was in the quarterfinals, maybe even in the group stage, someone was asking, like, oh, why do we never see Fire Bats? I mean, we do. Like, if we get into Bayer versus Zerg, I should also emphasize that because Mech versus Zerg is more viable, we do see a lot more Mech. But whenever we see Bayer, like, I mean, Fire Bats do quite well against Ling Bane. They do very nicely against it. As Spirit is committing into more Fire Bats. From here, Dark would most likely have to tech into either Ultras or into a Hydra Lurker Viper. There's no Hydra Den yet. There's the Infestation Bit for Hive Tech. I would imagine going into Ultras. Ultras can do well against this, but we're still a ways off before any kind of Hive Tech, really. As Spirit, he's taking into tank production. 4th CC's on the way. Embracing his upgrades. Ooh, even getting a science facility. You know what that means? That means irradiate. Irradiate alongside science vessels. That's going to be ideal against Ling Bane. I mean, against all things biological here. Lingbane, Ultra, even if it was to be Hydrotech as well, Irradiate can pop off. As Spirit rotates around. Hits the fourth. Stims in. Oh my god, doesn't split though. Yeah, massive baling connections. Pappy, we have to split. Like fire bats, they're good, but they're not that good. So very nice trade here for Dark. Takes down a massive chunk of fire bats. How many was that? Jesus, that was 14. I mean, some of them went down earlier, but still, that's crazy. I want to say that was around 8 or so. Maybe 10 at most. As Dark, he does gain map control. One bad fight, sometimes all it takes. Dark, he's somewhat in the driver's seat. Irradiate is being resourced, as we did mention, going into Science Vessel. As Spirit, he does have to retreat. Does have to back off. Ooh, and I was curious what the Hive was going to be for. The Hive is now done, and we are going for a Spire. Corrupted Broodlord? Okay. I see you. Nida Storm's on the way. No Ultra Cavern. I'm here for it. Overseer does get eyes on the tech in the main. Does confirm the, of course, science facility researching. Is aware. Here we go. Dark is still waiting for his tech here. 2-2 is still on the way. Nida Storm just now finishing up. Dark massing up his Lingbane. Rotating around. Going for the fourth. There is a bunker. But the Balians, they should be going for the mineral line. Yeah, they do head towards those SCVs. SCVs are going to be going down. Irradiate gets thrown down, but again, this was a late reaction here from Spirits. Yeah, true. Irradiate is not actually ideal on Lingbane. Oh my god. Fire bats, they take the Balians to the face. Marines have to kite back. They can't hold their own. Spirit holds. Spirit does hold. Now, for those that are curious, I mean, if you've watched Brood War, you'd be familiar with what I'm about to say. But the Irradiate does do a lot of damage. It does last a long time. That's why Irradiate does an amazing job on Ultras. Against Lingbane, I believe once the unit that gets Irradiated dies, the Irradiate runs out. I believe it does dissipate. Which is why we do see a trick in Brood War where a player irradiates their own Science Vessel and then dives in. They irradiate their own Science Vessel, they dive in, and they just do so much damage to Lings. I don't know if Spirit is aware. I don't know if we can do the same thing here, but that's why that's done, for example. From my understanding. As Spirit does take down Northern Expansion, meanwhile Dark rotating over towards the top left. Does head for the mineral line. Spirit does pull away. Debo goes down. Tank as well. Got 5 bats to defend. Ooh, but Bailey's they will crash in. Trading a base for a base, and the Spirit, he does save most of his SCVs. I spoke too soon. Once again, the Irradiate, once again, it runs out. Again, against pure Lings. Not ideal. I mean, still does a lot of damage, don't get me wrong. But for a brief period of time. Pretty sure Razor works in Evo, yeah. So yeah, what he's referring to, or what we're referring to, is irradiating your own unit, your own science vessel, and then coming in and just irradiating everything. It's crazy. We have yet to see it in StarCraft in the SEL League. We have yet to actually see that move. But again, I don't know if Spirit knows that that's the ideal, that's like the thing to do. I don't know if he knows back. I don't know. As we have our lane drop here towards the main. Likewise, Dark rallying over towards the right-hand side. Spirit not quite in position. Forced to rotate, forced to respond. Double drop into the main. And SCVs are going to be going down. So far, good damage here by Dark. Does borrow the Lings. SCVs are going down. And I assumed it was going to be Broodlord, but my apologies. I mean, yes, there is a Spire, but it's not a greater Spire. He is, in fact, going into Ultras. I do think that might hurt Dark more than anything, because the Ultras are the target for Irradiate now. They're going to be a much stronger target for Irradiate, I should say. As 11 SCVs do fall. More importantly, this is just keeping Spirit busy back at home. Still links borrowed in the mineral lines. And they can unborrow at any moment. Can unborrow. Stark is investing into those upgrades. A couple of Corruptors on the way to help support against those science vessels. Oh! As things they unborrow. Oof. And it's going to be another 3 SCVs. Spirit does hold, but Dark still has momentum, going for another drop. Oh my god, a massive Ling drop. I believe purely Lings towards the main. You know, Ling Bane Ultra here on the right-hand side. How many science vessels? 4. 4 science vessels. They do have Irradiates. But there's no turrets. There's nothing here. As Dark moves out, we do see Spirit pushing in. Nice Irradiate here on the Ultra. He's going to do a lot of damage. They're coming from behind the surround. Oh my god. Darky comes in from behind. The tanks are unsieged. And it collapses on the bio. Irradiates are good, but they're not that good. Lings at the same time. They drop into the main. They hit to the top right. Bases are going down. GG gets called. And Dark takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Dark from every single angle. He collapses, he surrounds the army. Likewise, drop into the main, run by on the right hand side. He was all over the place and Spirit could not keep up. And in the end, does tap out. GG, well played. Dark start things off with a lead. Does take the first game, but this is a best of 7. Plenty more games ahead of us. I want to believe we can embrace a longer series here. And we'll see what Spirit embraces. I imagine he should be going into SC2 Terran. Yes, we have confirmation. He has chosen the StarCraft 2 Terran race. Let's go. As we are loading into game 2, we're going to be loading into Troy. Oh. Here we go. Here we go. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, in the left-hand corner of Troy, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran player. Calm down. Yo, when I heard the loading CC for a moment, I was like, is he gonna lift and like go for the islands? Like, what's happening? Okay, we good. We have the SE2 Terran player, the blue Terran from land of Poland, down in the series, but it's a best 7. You know, plenty more games ahead of us. It is Spirit. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the teal Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg, representing Talent Esports. It is Dark. Here we go. We go. Oh, that's interesting. Infamously in Brood War, this means Terran will irradiate Brood War Zerg Ultras while they run into their Marines to kill their own Marines incidentally. I see. So irradiate does friendly fire. Okay, that I was not sure of. So thank you for that tidbit. No. Here we go. Alright, gonna be settling in. Do you have Dark just opening up double hatch? Going for his macro here. Macro hatch, I should say, at the natural. Getting to his gases. Does scout, does confirm the location of Spirit, is aware. Does get eyes on the natural. And I believe because the CC, because the vision is shorter for the building SCV, he does not know about the location of Dark. So Dark knows where Spirit is. Spirit does not know where Dark is. As this is a 4-player spawn map, and we do have vertical spawns. The vertical spawns coming in. Dark going for a pool, going for a gasless opener. Very late gas here for Dark. Just going for more expansions. Does he go for another hatchery? No shot. Let's go. As Dark is going gasless. Now, this is not as greedy as the build that we saw in Monty Hall. So don't get too wild. This is not the greediest opener we've seen from Dark, but greedy nonetheless. It is going to be a hatch, into pool, into another hatchery. Gasless opener from Dark, or I should say very delayed gas from Dark. So late link speed, late tech in general, just very greedy. Very greedy play here from Dark. Throwing down the sunken colony, or the creep colony, to morph into a sunken colony. Oh boy. Meanwhile, back at home, we do see Spirit just chilling. getting to his 1-1 setup. Ooh, going into a third CC before starport. Economic build here at a Spirit. From here he can go into, of course, the third base, the island base. Can float on over. But it does make sense to cut corners like this just because, as you can see here, there's no Reaper cliff. There's no cliff into the main, there's no cliff into the natural. The Reaper opener here is stuck outside of the natural base, and Dark is safe and sound with the bare minimum. With a handful of slowlings and with a sunken colony, he can defend. Behind this, Dark taking all of his gases, joining up quite heavily, taking into Hydras. It's going to be Hydra tech here from Dark. So far, so good. Here we go. And again, because Spirit is playing economically, he can't punish him. Like Dark, he cannot be punished anytime soon just because Spirit is focusing on his own third base, not into 2-base aggression. So sure, Spirit, he's making a handful of Hellions, but what can Hellions really do here? They can harass the northern expansion, but I believe Spirit doesn't even know. Yeah, he doesn't even know about that base. Oof. Spirit, he's in the dark, man. He's in the dark. He's unaware of the greed here of his opponent. As so far, Darky's just using it for Hydra production, I should say. Still saturating on 2 bases. Joining up quite heavily. A lair is on the way. This will give access to Lurker tech, of course. So this time a much faster lair from Dark. Compared to previous games that we have seen from it. It's going to be that faster lair. And the Hydras will zone this army back. And again, Spirit doesn't really have anything to threaten Dark at the moment. As we mentioned, because of the economic builds, you can see Spirit is getting into double eBays, double upgrades, taking into stim, and getting into tank production. Hellions are forced back, and Dark has map control. From here, he can embrace his upgrades, and now he can start saturating that third. Oh, as he attempts to catch out the Hellions. We have Overlord Speed on the way. Ling Speed, so just Ling Hydra. Again, with the lair, we can now morph into or now take into Lurkers. For the time being, though, no Lurker tech yet. Just Ling Hydra. Oh, Hellions, they do scout, they do confirm. They get eyes on the third. Now he knows. Can't really do anything about it, but at least he's aware. At least Spirit is aware of the expansion. Oh, as, yeah, these Hellions and Reapers are going to be trapped. There's no way out. No. Hellion goes down. Reaper goes down. Back at home, Spirit is building up. And he's getting ready for his 7-minute push. 3 more racks is going to be a 5-rack setup here on 3 bases. A standard setup here at a Spirit. And Spirit shouldn't move out until he has upgrades. Basically, we're waiting for 1-1. Waiting for a 1-1. Bold move, Spirit. He's moving out with a double drop. Oh. No shot. The Hydras! No, they're here! Oh, he gets 1! He gets 2! Oh my god, 1 full medevac. A second medevac goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Spirit, he gets punished. I mean, Dark was getting ready for his own drop, by the way. He wasn't trying to intercept. He's getting ready here with Dropalord. Dropalord tech is on the way. He was getting ready for his own Doom drop. Alas, he does just come across the drop of Spirit. Very fortunate for Dark. By accident. It's like, oh my god, okay, I guess, sure. I guess I'll deny your drop, and then I can just get into my own. So very fortunate here for Dark, and very unlucky here for Spirit. Ay, ay, ay. And I wonder if Spirit realizes what this meant, seeing all these Hydras. I don't think he saw the Overlords, as here comes the drop that Dark was setting up for. That he just happened to be setting up for. Sensor Tower is done, that will help. But there's nothing in position. There's no army here, just turrets. There's going to be 1 turret to defend. And here comes the drop. The 1 turret, it's not going to be enough. Likewise, are there any medevacs? 0 medevacs. No shot. 0 medevacs here for Spirits. CC is going to be denied. There are tanks, though. Ooh, tank low is going up. Hydras have to respect it. But Spirit is contained. He's contained on 2 bases. He cannot expand. Gases are being shut down. Dark, of course, rotating over towards the center. Picking up, getting out of here. Actually dropping into the main. Oh my god. He's crazy. One of the Hydras left behind. Feels bad, man. Is left behind. Drop into the main. Getting more value. Leaves one lane behind. And throughout all of this, Dark, he has been taking. Lurkers are now on the way. Again, the lair was done quite some time ago. Lurkers are now morphing in. Hive is on the way as well. With this, we can go into Hive Tech, of course, into Defilers, into Queens. Curious what Dark does use here. Speaking of, there it is, the Defiler Mount. Let's go! The new Defiler Mount. We'll zoom in. We'll zoom in soon. For those that are curious, for a very long time, I should say, since the inception of StarCraft Evolution, the Defiler Mound was just a repurposed Roach Warren, but recently, for the playoffs, has been repurposed and we have a new graphical asset here for the Defiler Mound. Big shout out to Kate, or Kat. Big shout out to Kat for, of course, creating that, for bringing it all together, for creating the new asset. Oh, there it is! No more repurposed Roach Warren. We have our new Defiler. I can't like zoom in properly. But let's go. It's so flat. I mean, it should be. It's a Defiler mount. But we appreciate it. We appreciate the work put into this. As again, it just used to be a Roach Warren. But the Defiler upgrades on the way. It is sufficiently like Zerg and disgusting. It's beautiful. Let's go. As Darky's just taking more expansions, taking more bases, expanding all around the map. He has map control, of course. And Spirit does eventually retake his third, thankfully. Does retake it. We go. The whole position! Oh no! Oh my god, the whole position micro. He's holding on! No! He pops off! Oh my god! And massive shots to the Hellies. The Hellies, they go down. The Ghosts do survive. Thankfully, the Ghosts get the hell out of there. But Dark, calm down. Oh my god. The whole position Lurkers. They do pop off. They punish Spirits. Drop on the right hand side. But Dark is all over this. And here come those Defilers. They're ready with the Dark Swarm, with the Plague. The Plague. As he's going to collapse in, the tanks are unsieged. Massive Dark Swarms. Oh my god. And the army just crumbles. The Dark Swarms, they continue. Oh my, we just cover everything in Dark Swarm. No shot. No reason not to. Snipes going up, not bad. 2 Lurkers finally go down. Another Dark Swarm. Just to protect. At the same time, the 4th base is just cut off from the rest of the bases from the army. Oh, he gets a Plague. Does land the Plague here on Spirit. And you can see Dark just slowly leapfrogging forward here with these Dark Swarms. Nice snipes though. Technically snipes, they are spells. They do ignore the Dark Swarm. Ghosts, they're crazy. They get the Ghosts, they get the Lurkers anyway. Another Plague, the medevacs are running out of energy. And the Ghosts are getting very low. Jesus, look at how low they are. One more shot. For those that are curious, Plague reduces the HP to 1. It doesn't kill anything, but it does reduce everything to 1 HP. And the Ghosts, I should emphasize. So we get another Plague. Medevac goes down. And the medevacs are just running out of energy at this point. Running out of energy. The Ghosts are exposed. And Dark at the same time going for the drop. Double drop into the main. Nice snipes though. Oh. Of course, bearing in mind as well that these Lurkers compared to the SE2 Lurkers have less range. Far less range than their SE2 counterparts. Army breaks out. Drop coming in, Lings into the 3rd, into the main. And the main army collapses in. And now with Ultras, they just want some hugs. Darkstorm gets thrown down. Ultras, they dive in. Oh my god. There's only a handful of ultras left. It looks like a Spirit he will hold. Oh my, the Dark Swarm! Barely holding his own here. Protecting the ultras, pushing forward, gets a tank. And now he's getting on top of the Ghost as well. And throughout all of this, Lings are wreaking havoc. That's 59 SCVs going down. Spirit getting completely pulled apart. As there were Lings in the main at the third. Main army pushing in. Another Dark Storm and a Plague as well. Plague does graze the army. For those that are curious, Dark Swarm, it means that no ranged units can really hurt anything in the Dark Swarm. GG gets called, and Dark takes a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Things that can bypass the Dark Swarm, though, are spells. You know, spells like we were seeing, snipes were unaffected by Dark Swarm, so we saw that Spirit was able to make use of that and snipe the Lurkers earlier. Unfortunately, the Ghosts were being whittled away over time, so he didn't quite have enough snipes left over to go for the Ultras in that final fight. With that, GG. GG, well played. Whew. Dark takes a 2-0 lead, and now we are embracing Game 3. We're going to be loading into Ley Lines. Oh my god. Yes, true. Splash damage as well. That's something I should emphasize. Where, for example, if I'm not mistaken, if you have a tank line, and if a tank shoots a unit in a Dark Swarm, the unit itself that gets targeted is safe, but the units around it get hurt by the tank fire. So, yeah. So splash damage in a way like tank shots or Storm, of course, that does affect units in the Dark Swarm, and of course, targeted spells as well. And here we go, we're getting into Game 3. And we'll see if our Terran player can recover. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the Polish Terran player, the Teal Terran, rocking the SE2 race. We'll see if he can bounce back here, and we'll see if he can claw his way back in this series and make a series out of it. It is Spirit. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his one. Oh, let's go! Is he going for a 13-12? He is. He's going for a 13-12 in a ZvT. He's crazy. The Brood War Zerg player from South Korea, representing Talon Esports. He's being hyper-aggressive, hyper-committed. It is Dark. Now, you think you've seen some greed by Dark, and he has. He has been hyper-greedy throughout this entire day of StarCraft. That is true, but now we have the aggression. We have, oh my god, so it is going to be a 13-12 here out of Dark, rushing into early Ling speed with a Ling Flood. And will this work against Spirit? Spirit back at home going Rax first. Ooh. I'm sure that maybe Dark was hoping CC first. We've spoken about this before, but Spirit, he is one to go CC first more often than not, and maybe that is what Dark was hoping, because a CC first means a delayed Rax and delayed Factory, so potentially a bit of a gamble here by Dark. We'll see how this all comes together. As he pulls out of gas, only Ling speed. Again, a 13-12 in SE2 usually means a Bane bust, but there are no Banelings. No Banelings for Brood War, of course, so we pull out of gas, only 100 gas, Ling speed is on the way, and here comes the Ling Flood. Now, will this work? It usually shouldn't, right? Like, I mean, Terran, they can wall off is the thing. They can just fully wall off, they can pull the boys, they can repair. It's going to be difficult to really make this happen here. We'll see, as Lings are moving out. Lings are moving out. Wait, Bane bust? Yeah, Brood War. Otherwise, 100%. If this was SE2 Zerg, it should be a Bane bust, but it's Brood War instead. The Lings are moving out. The bipedal Lings, let's go! They skirt around the edge of the map. No SCV scouts out of Spirit. He moves out with the initial Reaper. Overlord will confirm the CC on the low ground, but it's about breaking the main. You know, denying the third base is not good enough damage. Dark, he has to break the main instead. Now he knows it wasn't CC first. And can he slip up the ramp? Actually, no, he's going to be revealing himself instead. Does reveal himself. Reaper turns around. Boys are being pulled to the low ground, actually. Oh my god, Lings, they flood in! Spirit a little bit ambitious here. Marine takes a lot of hits, does survive. Darky pulls back, going for the Reaper. He gets us around! Reaper goes down, and Marine barely survives, though. Darky wants it. Spirit holds. Ooh, Spirit holds, he fully walls off. Will lose 5 SCVs, but Spirit, he is up in workers. He did have to cancel the expansion, though. CC was cancelled, and behind this, Dark rushing into a lair. I feel like this should be 2 base Muta, right? I feel like we've seen this before. Like 13-12 into 2 base Muta. I feel like that makes the most sense, but this is just a really chaotic game state. Dark, he is down in workers, but he does have a natural. You know, Spirit now re-expanding on the high ground, going to Hellion production. I feel like Hellions can pop off, not gonna lie. There's no queens to defend. We'll see if Dark cuts corners, we'll see if he does make some sunken colonies. Lair is on the way. Second gas. Show us the... I mean, it could be one of two things. It's got to be the Spire, right? Part of me was thinking maybe Nidus, but Nidus works very differently in Brood War, where you need creep ahead of time. So it has to be the Mutas. We'll see. So now Dark, he's just trying to saturate his bases, getting a third. Lair is done, and we will soon have enough gas. Yep, there it is. There's a Spire. So as we mentioned, 13-12 into Mutas, this makes the most sense as a transition point. It's still a very risky maneuver. As you can imagine, Spirit, he's already building up... I was going to say building up Marines. He's working on Marine production. But the goal here is to keep Spirit busy. The goal here is to just keep him pinned at home, get a couple of SEV kills, and allow or give Dark the time he needs to actually build up an economy. Because the economy is lackluster for Dark. Especially with Spirit going 3cc. Third CC is on the way. Is taking his natural. There is that safety sunken colony here from Dark, so if there was some aggression, then he would be somewhat okay. Oh my god, and Spirit's playing mech. Okay, who does this favor? I think this might be better for Dark, because what does this mean? Where's the anti-air? That's my question to you. This is the anti-air. 2 Marines. 2 vanilla Marines. I mean, I guess we can get into Cyclone production. True. Okay, we can get into Cyclone production here. Hopefully from the side of Spirit. We'll need those Cyclones. Mutas are amassing. So far, still just Hellions on the way. Hellion does poke in. Ling shut it down. So there we go. Scan into the main. Now he knows Cyclone production has begun. Phew. Spirit is now aware of what's going on, and he should be getting ready. He should be ready for this. Cyclones are building up. And they can shut down Mutas. So very important scan here from Spirit. As Mutas, they push in towards the top left. There's going to be 5 Cyclones to defend. That's plenty of Cyclones. But again, the goal here for Dark is not to end the game. It is to contain. It's to contain Spirit for as long as possible. To keep him busy. Keep him pinned. Delay the third. As Mutas, they rotate. Head towards the natural. Turret is not quite done. And the Mutas, they do get a handful of SCVs. That's going to be 2 SCVs going down. Ooh, 3 SCVs even. Nice control at the Dark here. Very delicate micro, as if he commits to a fight, he will lose everything to the Cyclones. Oh, speaking of. He has to pull back. Does need to pull away. Blue Flame is in production. Spirit, he's committing to mech, to battle mech. With Hellion Cyclone. Back at home, Dark is transitioning into Hydras. So Hydra speed is on the way. +1 range. Just trying to work on those Hydras. But again, Dark, he still needs more time. He's still down in workers, or doesn't have the best economy, I should emphasize. Up. Spirits has yet to take his third. Has yet to float over. Dark running up to 50. Rushing into a Queen Nest. Oh my god. Bold move, but Queens would be very useful against this kind of army. Wither and Snare. Hellions are moving up. Blue Flame is almost done. Hydras are keeping up. Mutas, they delay the Cyclones. Hellions rotating around. Are they going for the dive? Oh, no, not quite. Not yet. They trade against the Lings. Hydras are trying to amass. As a reminder, Hydras are not light-based units, so they can trade a little bit more better here against the Blue Flame Hellions than typically. No Cyclones! Yeah, no Cyclones in position. The Mutas, they shut down the Hellions. Spirit out of position with his Cyclones. Does respond. Does reinforce. You have Hurricane engines on the way, plus on vehicle weapons. Getting into tank production. Mutas came back home, which means that Spirit can now expand. He can finally expand, finally take his third. Meanwhile, Dark, he's on a decent economy. He's on still under 3 base economy, unfortunately. I believe that's Parasite being researched. Oh. As Mutas, they get forced back. But I imagine we're going to be working towards some Queen production. And when it comes to Queens as supportive units, one of the big factors, especially against Battle Mech, should be the Ensnare. Ensnare is basically like Fungal. Ensnare, it slows down the army, but it lasts a very long time compared to your typical Fungal growth. As mutas, they do get caught out. The muta count is almost non-existent at this point. And Dark is still yet to fully saturate. It's still on a 3 base economy, just under even. Just under 3 bases. Aliens pushing in. Nice spread here from Dark, trying to avoid that splash damage. Yeah, very nice movement with the Hydras. Getting into Lurker Tech. Chasing down the Hellions. Back at home, Spirit now getting into a more tank-heavy composition after the Cyclones, of course. Tank production getting underway. Just the 1 tech lab, though. There we go. 2nd tech lab. Lurkers are being researched. No spellcasters yet from Dark. Interesting. Still sticking with purely a Hydra Lurker. No Queens yet. There we go. As Spirit, he's just turtling. He's just turtling up, throwing down walls of depots, sensor towers, turrets as well. He's just fortifying himself. And Dark, as a result, is taking up. Hive is done, and I was curious what was going to be done with the Hive. I assumed it was going to be a Defiler Mound, but no, instead. Oh, the whole position, once again, catching out the Cyclones. Very nice catch here from Dark. Oh my god. Does shut the Cyclones down, but Dark is heading into a greater Spire. Reinvesting into Mutas, and with this, he can go into Guardians. And once again, I ask you the question, what is the anti-air for Spirit? Cyclones. Against Guardians, Cyclones are not ideal. So Guardians, they can pop off. This is where Ghosts, where Thors, where even Vikings would have to come into play. Ghost Academy is halfway done, but the Guardians are upon us. Here we go, as Mutas are amassing. Mutas are messing up. Getting ready to morph in. There they are! Nine Guardians. 9 Guardians are morphing in. And Spirit has no idea. Spirit, he has no idea what he needs right now. He's getting caught with his pants down. Trying to respond. Still quite heavy here on Hellbat's Cyclone. I mean, at least he is sprinkling in a couple of Ghosts. True. The Ghost will help. The Ghost will help. Guardians morph in. They're coming. They're floating in, Pat. They catch a tank. Tank goes down. Spirit out of position. He has to respond. Ooh, +1 vehicle plating going to be denied just barely in time. The Ghost. Oh my god. Ghost goes down. Massive pickup. He's going to have to guy pack. Hellbat drop you on top of the army. He's going to trade well against the Leagues at least, but the Guardians, there's no answer. There's no answer to the Guardians. The first Ghost went down. No other Ghosts behind this. There's one of them coming out of the production. Gets a snipe off. The snipe is denied. And Dark, he snowballs out of control. GG gets called with the surprise Guardians after a 13-12. I would say a failed 13-12. And GG Dark, he's one game away from becoming the StarCraft Evolution League full champion. GG. One more game is all that Dark needs. Ora mas, papi. Ay, ay, ay. And not gonna lie, I feel like this was meant to be Spirit's game here. He had a stronger start. You know, he was able to get a better economy early on. He was able to minimize losses against the mutas. Remember, the mutas, they didn't really do much damage. The mutas they contained, but they didn't really kill many SCVs at all. But they did delay the push, and they delayed the third. As we mentioned, the role of the mutas was just to contain and allow Dark to recover. And Dark, he was able to get there in the end, was able to somewhat recover. More importantly, though, I do think that the supplies was still, you know, in favor of the Terran. If it was a ground-based composition, I do think that obviously Spirit would have had a stronger chance there, but it was the hidden tech. The fact that Dark, he gambled a little bit, he rushed into the Greater Spire, into Guardians, and it was unscouted. If Spirit had known, he would have had a better response, but he had no idea. So, I mean, he just had the worst army for it. He had one Ghost. That's all he had. That's all he really had against Guardians, so was caught with his pants down. A GG, well played. With that, we are going to game 4. Let's go. Let us go. Guardians seem insane. They seem insane when there's nothing that shoots up. When nothing shoots up, they're crazy, papi. They're crazy. Oh my god. Out of this world. And here we go. We're getting into game 4. We're loading into near Isles of Siren. What does that mean? The island map. Let's go. Let us go. The sky crab, the space crabs, papi, the space crabs. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of near Isles of Siren, we have the teal Terran player, the Polish Terran, rocking StarCraft 2. By the way, he's down in this series, one more loss, and that is going to be the end of the finals. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for an extended series, but the pressure is on. We'll see if we can recover here on an island map. It is Spirit. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brood War Zerg player, the Red Zerg from South Korea, representing Talent Esports. One more game is all he needs to make it here to be our champion. It is Dark. Here we go. Whew. So we are going to be settling in. To have a Dark opening up hatch first, and once again I should reiterate, welcome one and all to near Isles of Siren. What does that mean? Island map. We have 4 bases. We have your natural and your third base, which is quite easy to take. We have high yield gases as well, so you can go for the greediest build possible. As you can see, Dark already going hatch, could even go for a 4th hatchery as well before gas, before spawning pool. You can be as greedy as possible here. You do have the 4th base, as I just pointed out, available to you as well, but this 4th base can be quite awkward to defend. As you can see here, to gain access to this 4th, there is a very narrow alley that goes right into the main base. What this means specifically, as we have seen time and time again, is with a ground army, you can have a really hard time defending this location and this location. If you're being pulled back and forth, if you're out of position, it can be very difficult to rotate between your bases here just because of the path by ground. So bear that in mind, as that might come into play as the game progresses. Likewise, Spirit going CC into Rax. I should say, sorry, it should be next CC first into Rax into the 3rd CC on location. So very greedy build here by Spirit as well. Also, to reiterate, 4-player map. 4-player map, you can spawn in at any corner of the map. Dark, he's checking, does confirm no Spirit towards bottom left, and he will confirm no Spirit towards top right. It is a diagonal cross spawn map for now. We're loading into cross spawns. Dark taking his 4th base, and we were able to experience this map earlier in the TVT between Spirit and Kiwian. It was a very intense TVT, and we saw how powerful StarCraft 2 Terran can be on this because of how mobile they are and because of how powerful Sky Terran is. Speaking of Sky Terran, this is where something like 2-port BC could work quite well. Spirit, he was able to go into mass battle cruiser, and he just had his way with Spirit's Brood War Terran. It was insane. Dark is rushing into a lair though, and this should be a rush into Spire Tech into mutas. I would imagine Dark is rushing into mutas. We'll see what Spirit rushes into himself. We shall see. As gases are being taken, of course the high yield gases are being prioritized. Dark getting a macro hatch. Spirit getting a 4cc. I do like this position because he can just float it over to his location. But what about the army that Spirit is going to have to work with? Does he go into I feel like bio play is going to be viable. Going into like a 2-1-1 into drop play, I feel like that could be quite effective on this map. It can also completely hard counter 2-base Muta, or I guess 3-base Muta, with early Stim Marines. In my mind, that would work the best here. Now, from the side of Spirit, he hasn't seen anything. He doesn't know what's going on, but you can hazard a guess, right? You can assume that if we're on an island map, that the Zerg player would be rushing into a Spire and into Mutas. Speaking of, Spire is on the way. So, Spirit, he can make an educated guess here with what's going on. We can see factory follow-up. That means no 2-1-1. That means he is not rushing to a second Rax into Stim. Instead, it's going to be a 1-1-1 opener. Interesting. This looks like Vikings. With the reactor, we can go into an add-on swap into Viking production, I would assume. Yes, second starport's on the way. Another reactor. Yep, it looks like Mass Viking. Mass Viking out of Spirit. Interesting. I'm curious what is better here, right? Because in my mind, the two options would have been either 2-1-1 into Medevac bio drop play with Stim, or this, which is, you know, a double starport Mass Viking. I guess they both have their place. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this does go. As we do see, Dark is investing into Dropper Lords, into Ventral Sacks. That is so that Dark can eventually expand. Oh, okay. Liberator production, not Viking. I mean, I'm sure he'll get there, but Liberator first. Interesting. I mean, this will mean he can harass across the map. True. Oh, wait. Okay. I assumed like 2 libs into Viking. No. Mass lib, baby. Let's go. Is committing into Mass Liberator. I mean, their anti-air splash damage is crazy. Is very impressive. So, I mean, Mass Lib can hold its own against Mass Muta. True. Queen S is on the way for Hive Tech. Overlord's getting in position. And Liberators will soon move out. Let's go. Let us go. As Liberators, they have hit the field. They have yet to reveal themselves. Likewise, Mutas, they do move out across the map. They run into a wall of turrets. 1 Muta goes down. 1 Muta falls. Oh, nice kiting here with the Liberator. And again, these libs, they can hold their own. Oh my god. 1 Liberator is going to fall. They do trade against 2 of those Mutas. A 3rd Muta as well. So a better trade from Spirits. That's 3 Mutas for 1 Liberator. But Darky does catch the message. No, the transfer workers, they're too soon. They come in a little bit too soon. That's 6 SCVs going down. That should not have happened. As Spirit has to pull back and he's building up more libs. And he is going pure lib, by the way. Into bio. Okay, so it's going to be Liberator with bio supports, getting to 1-1, getting to Marine production. I do like that. I do like the choice to go into Marines like that. Meanwhile, look at the minimap. Jesus, look at the positioning of all these Overlords. Oh my god. The aestheticness here. Ah. The Overlord pattern. As we have 7 Liberators, and at this point, Mutas are not the answer. At this point, 1 wrong move, and all these Mutas will melt. They will just explode out of the sky. So Dark has to back off. Getting to his Hive, 2nd Spire. It looks like double air upgrades, and this most likely is going to lead into a greater Spire into Devourers and Guardians as well, I would imagine. I'd imagine Darky's working towards Guardian Devour with Queen support. Is getting into those melee upgrades though. Can of course set up some drop play. Speaking of drops, there they are. Drops are moving out with Mass Ling. Now remember, Spirit, he has been investing into his bio upgrades, but does he have any Marines yet? So far he's going into Ghost production, no Marines, which means these Lings, if they can unload, they can wreak havoc. Oh. These Lings, they can be more successful than the Mutas. As Mutas are looking for another way in, Dark, mass expanding, does migrate towards bottom left. Catching out a medevac. The Ghost, up! Oh my god. Nice snipe. 1 Ghost does get picked off. 1 medevac even. The Mutas, they have to respect the libs. Oh my god, there's so much splash damage there. Mutas, they cannot fight this head on. But the Lings can. Like one wrong move and again these Mutas, they explode. Like in one big volley. Ooh, meanwhile, full drop alert goes down. Ghost, they respond. Nice snipes. Good defense so far by Spirit. He does defend. He shuts down the initial drop. 4 Lings get into the middle line. They get a handful of SCVs, but nothing too major yet. Getting 6 SCVs. Still more Lings. Meanwhile, there's a Greater Spire. Nidus Worm here across the map. As a reminder, Brood War Nidus Worms do not make any noise. They don't make any sound whenever they appear. So Dark, he's just silently just taking more expansions, saturating more bases. Lings, they try to engage. Nice kiting here out of Spirits. Shuts down the Lings. Queen production has begun. As we mentioned before, Queens, they can ensnare. And Parasite. So Queen's going to be a great supportive unit here for whatever's in the sky. Scourge, I always forget about Scourge. I always forget. But true, Scourge, that can be an answer as well to the mass lib. Spirit, he does expand here in the center base. 4 gases available to him. Ay, ay, ay. And from here, he can start to lay siege upon the bases of Dark. He can try to push in. Jeez, that's 22 Scourge. Oh my god. Scourge are amassing. One wrong move, and Spirit, he will lose all of his Liberators. Now, it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting engagement here where if the Libs, if they get their volley off first because of their splash damage, I believe they can one-shot all these Scourge. I believe, depending on if the Scourge are stacked. Likewise, because of that, I would imagine that Dark wants to try to surround the Liberators. Jesus, he has too many Mutas. The Libs! Oh my god. They're on the chase. And where are the Scourge? Oh, and Snare coming in. Oh, the first one does miss, but the others do connect. And now we can just fight head on. You can fight this head on and massive connections. Oh my god. The Mutas, they melt. Scourge are coming in a little bit late. But they will connect. Massive connections. They clean up every single Liberator. How many Mutas just died? 16. Jesus. 16 Mutas went down, but we have 14 now Guardians on the way. Now, without any more Liberators, I mean, where's the anti-air? And against Guardians, it isn't about Libs, it's about Vikings, I would say. Or Vikings and alongside Ghosts. As Guardians are pushing in, and Spirit, he does not see the transition. He doesn't know. He's still making Liberators. Again, Liberators, they're good against Mutas, but there are 0 Mutas. That's the problem here. There's 0 Mutas anymore. There's no more Muta. As Guardians, they reveal themselves. Now, the Ghost can respond. Yeah, they're coming in for the snipes. Massive snipes going up. Oh my god, they shut down almost every single Guardian. Jesus, the snipes are crazy. He gets 12, 13. 13 Guardians go down. The Queens are left a little bit too close as well. And again, just like with SE2, what is the counter to all things Zerg? Mate, just make the Ghost, man. Just the Ghost. We need a new copy pasta for the Ghost in Brood War. Scourge, they take down some of those. Oh, they take down some of the Medivacs. The Mutas, they collapse in. But the snipes are too good. The Mutas, they melt. And the mass goes. The Ghost is all you need, Papi. The late game army of Terran. You need Ghosts for the Guardians. You need Ghosts against the Lings, the Scourge, Ghosts for the Muta, Ghosts for the Queen, Ghosts for the Devour True, Ghosts for the Ultra, Ghosts for the Hydra. Oh, the Ghost, Papi. As the base is going to go down. Behind this, reinforcing once again with Liberators. There we go. As he doesn't keep pushing, thankfully so. I do think that if he were to keep pushing, would overextend. So Spirit, playing it safe, has now realized that Dark has taken every other expansion. But Spirit, he's holding his own. Spirit, he's going to be hunting them down. Likewise, do we have enough energy for an ensnare? Not quite. Ooh, snipes going off once again. Oh my god, the snipes are brutal. Again, the queen wasn't ready. No ensnares. Muta's have to back up. Another expansion going to be going down. And I feel like the only way for Dark to really engage with the Mass Ghost needs to be leading with something like either an ensnare or a plague. The problem with plague is because we're on an island map, there's no way that you're going to have defilers in position. That's the big problem here. So I do feel like defilers are not going to be an option for Dark. That's out of the picture, and it has to be the queen. It has to be the ensnare. But even then, I just realized, I could be mistaken, but unlike fungal growth, ensnare wouldn't cancel snipe, right? Am I crazy? But basically, what cancels snipe is damage, and ensnare doesn't do any damage. So I'd like confirmation in the chat, but I believe ensnare wouldn't actually do anything. So if that's the case, then even ensnare won't work. True. Oh no. Correct. Yeah. Aye. As Spirit does take another expansion. Dark dropping here towards the south. Yeah, I feel like this is the best option for Dark. Just avoid the fight. Avoid the ghosts. And go for a backstab instead. Go for the mineral line. Gets SCVs. Oh god. The Liberators are here. We just have to get out of here. Oh, they do catch some of the ghosts, but snipes are going up. Oh my god, massive snipes here on the Overlords. Drop Lords are denied. And this Mass Muta is doing some nice damage here, but again, he has to get the hell out of here. We need to leave. Mutas are rotate out. So the flanking ghosts! Oh my god! The snipes! There's ghosts everywhere! Oh jeez! This ghost GG gets called, and Spirit, he does fight back. He does take game number 4 with the Mass Ghost. Let's go. GG. Everywhere you turn, there's ghosts all over the place. You can't escape, man. You can't escape. Ghosts everywhere. GG. GG, well played. And again, just once again, a really unique game. I do always love the games on island maps like Neo Isles of Siren. Again, as we were kind of like theory crafting, coming into that end game state here, your typical answers to Mass Ghost in SE2 would be something like Fungal, of course. In Brood War, it would be Plague, right? It would be the Defiler. But as we were mentioning, because of the nature of these islands, because it's so awkward for ground-based units to reinforce and for them to actually be whether you need them to be in these big fights, Defilers were not an option. They weren't really an option for Dark. Instead, he was trying to commit here to Queen Muta into Ling, but alas, could not really handle the Mass Ghost. GG, well played. Spirit fights back. He fights back, he puts a point on the board, and Spirit, he has some momentum, Pappy. He does have some momentum, and we'll see if we can maintain it. We'll see if we can extend this series as we're jumping into Game 5. It's going to be on Citadel. Let's go. Let us go. And again, just really smart of Spirit to go for the initial Liberators as well. Initially, especially early on, I was a little bit concerned that the Liberators would not be enough, especially against the drop Ling play. But alas, Spirit, he held on. He was able to shut down the Ling drops, able to shut down the Mutas, of course, and take the game. And fight back. And here we go. We're getting into game number 5. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Citadel, we have the StarCraft Brood War Terran player, the blue Terran from the land of Poland. It is Spirit. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, bottom right-hand corner, we have the teal Zerg player, the Brood War Zerg, the SE2 Zerg from South Korea, representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. Here we go. Oh my god. But again, that was a very unique kind of dynamic there on Neo Isles of Siren on the island map. I would say that you could maybe see a very similar dynamic on Monty Hall, as Monty Hall is kind of, it shares a lot of similarities with an island map just because it's so awkward for a ground army to reinforce and to rotate between certain areas of the map. So those are definitely maps where you can try to take advantage of that kind of game state. But now we're here loading into Citadel, a 4-player spawn map, and we are looking for our opponents. We have Dark checking bottom left first with the initial Overlord, second Overlord going top right. Spirit going CC first. CC first out of Spirit. Bit of a greedy build here from Spirit, but he should be able to get away with it. Likewise, Dark going for an earlier gas here. Interesting. Okay. Or I believe this... No, never mind. Sorry. Hatch gas pool, I think. Regardless, is going to be settling in. And we'll see where this takes us, as Dark will eventually get eyes on the opener. On the position here of Spirit, as he does confirm that he is not bottom left. Okay, standard opener. For some reason, I thought that the gas was mistimed, but no. Standard opener here out of Dark. Hatch gas pool. Hatch gas pool here from Dark is moving out with his Lings, soon to get into link speed, and the Overlord will soon get eyes on the position. Link speed is on the way. Darky pulls out. Not rushing into early Bailings or early Roaches. Not this time. Ooh, and Spirit for the first time this series with Brood War, he can embrace Mech. Mech is on the way. Double factory in production. Overlord does get eyes on the Gas Geyser. SEV spots the Overlord as well. Spirit knows. Spirit now knows where Dark is. Dark now knows where Spirit is. Let's go. Link dips in. Just being a bit of a nuisance. Forcing some delayed mining time. As the machine shops are on the way. With this, we can rush into spider mines or into ion thrusters. Speaking of, there it is. Ion thrusters is on the way. And a vulture production has begun. As that is, of course, a vulture speed. So Spirit is building up. And Dark, did he see the production? He did not. So Dark is still a little bit in the dark as to what's going on. Not fully aware, but that's all the links. Oh my god, he's link flooding. Jesus, that is what's that, 27 links? Oh my god, links are amassing, they're moving out, and we'll see if we can catch out those vultures. I mean, vultures early on can be exposed. We do see Spirit getting ready with his SimCity, third CC as a part of the wall. The eBay does fully wall off as well. Yeah, links, they have arrived, but alas, the eBay is ready for this, and Spirit holds. Spirit, he does hold a massive win here for Spirit, as Dark did delay his droning in favor of all those Lings. So Darky falls behind in the economy, falls behind the worker count, Spider Mine's on the way, and Spirit, so far, in a good position. He is in a good position here. Behind this, Dark, he is getting into Roaches. I mean, now he confirms that it is going to be Mech. He spots all the Vultures. So he's getting into Roach production. 5 Roaches on the way. The question becomes, is Dark going to saturate? It looks like he isn't. Yeah, he just made a massive wave of Overlords, and he's going all in. It's going to be a Ravager Ling all in out of Dark, as he is not saturating whatsoever. I mean, he is vertical spawn. He is close by ground. Vultures, they get eyes on the army. They see the lack of saturation, he knows. He should know at this point. He sees no drones at the third base. He's racing back home. Back at home, what do we have? We have tanks on the way. Siege mode hasn't been researched. No. Oh, sorry, it has. Siege mode is done. And we need as many tanks as possible. As many tanks and spider mines as well, as spider mines was not researched, so it's just going to have to be tanks. It is going to be a full wall here at the natural. And here comes the Ling Ravager. And once the wall falls, that's when the Lings flood in. It's going to be all about the SimCity as well. I would love to see like a secondary wall behind this. The Ravagers have arrived. Knocking down the eBay. Boys are being pulled. But again, that's what the Wows are for. Going for the depot as well. More boys being pulled. Tank is within range. And so far, Spirit's holding. He's going for the tank. He gets one. Oh my god. Trading a tank for a Ravager. Spirit, he's holding on. Repairing. And Dark backs off. Yeah, the all-in has failed. Dark, he's droning up. Oh! Does get the depot. But Dark, he's droning. He's getting a lair. Dark, he realizes he cannot kill his opponent. He cannot kill Spirit, not anymore. And Spirit, he's in a good position. I mean, the worker counts are similar, but Spirit has been mining more for longer. So Spirit, he has the better economy. Dark just now saturating, trying to at least. Yeah, now transferring over. Wraith has arrived to hunt down all these overlords. Ooh, it's going to be a lot of dead overlords here. Dark getting supply blocked. Yeah, brutal supply block for Dark. Using another overlord. That's 3 overlords on the way for Dark. Establishing his third. Spirit tries to take his own third base, but Dark is here to delay. That's the goal here for Dark, is delay the third. Delay the expansion, contain Spirit for as long as possible to allow Dark to recover. As he was so committed with this army. Oh my god. Tanks they leave forward. While they don't quite connect. Spirit breaks out. Lings, they come in first around. Oh, they catch out some of the vultures. Yeah, nice trades here for Dark. Lings are forced back. And Dark is going to be taking up in towards Hive Tech. Infestation, if it's on the way, that's going to be for Hive Tech. That'll gain access to Infestors, potentially Swarm Hosts. I mean, I really haven't seen the dynamic between Swarm Hosts against Brood War Mech, but technically that's also going to be an option. True. It is going to be an option for Dark. Especially considering that he did fall behind in the economy. It to be like hyper cost efficient, it would make sense. And yep, there it is, Swarm Host on the way. As we were saying, like as we were kind of like rationalizing, Swarm Host does make sense given the game state. Because Dark has to be as efficient as can be. And there's potential with Swarm Host. As Dark is still trying to recover. Still taking more bases. Nidus Swarm's on the way. And it's going to be 10 Swarm Hosts for Dark. Here we go. So do have the Nidus Swarm finish up as well. Overseer on the way. We'll get behind the main base, behind the mineral line. Likewise, Spirit taking up into Irradiate with the Science Vessel. There we go. Nice one finishing up here on the left-hand side. Swarm Hosts have arrived and they're going for the expansion. Local save is coming in. Can get a tank. Tank goes down. He can go for the mineral line as well. Yeah, going for the SCVs, and that's going to be a lot of SCVs falling. Oh my god. SCV 7, 8, 9 SCV kills. Getting almost 10. Nice one finishing up on the right-hand side. Expansion is denied. So far, so good for Dark. It is a decent amount of damage, but he's hoping for more. It's 1 tank and 9 SCVs. Tank and 9 workers. Rotating over. Now going for the main. There is a wall of turrets, though. And he might just clean it up. Yeah, he's going for the turrets. Does bring them down. Going for the production. Irradiate here on the Locust Wave. It'll help. True. Does help. But what's more important here is that Dark has map control. You know, that's the purpose of these Locust Waves, is he's doing some damage and he's keeping Spirit contained. While Dark, he now catches up, he's droning up, he's maxing out, taking more bases, more expansions, spreading creep, engulfing the map. Eventually Spirit will break out, but how much is he really going to have left over? How much will he have? Oh my god, that's a lot of Swarm Hosts. That's 16! Irradiate. Oh, we'll get on top of the Locust Wave. Well, the Swarm Hosts, they do collapse on top of the tanks. 1 tank goes down. He gets 1, he gets 2. Oh, and he gets a 3rd tank as well. 3 tanks fall. The Retravager busts in. Trading with the army. Files, they do graze science vessels. And the CC is denied. Oh my god. Tanks, they do reinforce. With this tank line, Spirit, he can hold on. He saves the expansion. But soon there's going to be another Locust Wave. And then Dark, he can do this all over again. Behind this, taking in every direction. Spire's on the way. Lurker Den's on the way. Hydra upgrades as well. He's getting ready for a Hydra Lurker switch. More Radiates. Again, it helps. But the Locust Wave gets in regardless. Radiate here on the Roaches. Tanks on siege. Yeah, massive Eagle Fear. The tanks take go down. Oh my god. GG gets called. He loses the entire tank line. And Spirit, he is broken. Dark, he bounces back after he failed all in. And Dark is going to be our StarCraft Evolution League full champion. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he does take it in the end. Thankfully, it was not a clean sweep, was not a 4-0, but a very strong showing nonetheless here from Dark, able to take down Spirit 4-1. GG, well played. Very impressive showing here by Dark. In general, though, what I will say is that Dark, he did bleed on his way to the finals, even here in the finals as well. Of course, Spirit was able to pop off on Neo Isles of Siren on the island map. Very impressive play there from Spirit. But Dark, he was hyper aggressive here. He was able to get away with a lot of greed. Able to get away with, yeah, just recovering as well, given certain game states. I mean, Dark, this is kind of like his bread and butter, right? He's used to playing scrappy. He's used to playing from behind even at times as well, with failed aggression, with successful aggression at times as well, don't get me wrong. And yeah, a wild series. GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark. And yeah, congratulations, Dark. He's not the most active of players in StarCraft Evolution, but he has put in a lot of time, and it was really cool to see multiple facets of Brood War Zerg as well. Whether it's Guardian tech, whether it's Defilers, we saw that on Troy, if you remember, going for the Plagues, going for the Dark Swarms, like gaining ground with his Hydra Lurker based composition. We saw the Queen Guardian play on Neo Isles and on other maps as well, going into a more sky-based composition. We saw that on Leylines, if you recall, when Spirit was trying to go into mech, and when he was hard countered, or when he was caught by surprise by the wave of Guardians. So yeah, really cool to see that kind of that tech path and that kind of composition out of Dark as well, showing multiple facets of Zerg. GG, well played. Scrolling on over here to our bracket, we can catch up on the entirety of the playoffs. We had a wild kind of round of 8, our wild quarterfinals. We had Shin, Dark, 3-Point, Classic, Euthermal, Kiwian, Quanta, and Spirit. Coming into this, I still stand by it. I was rating Shin quite highly. I was expecting a lot out of Shin, and then I saw the seeding. Then I saw the playoff bracket. I was like, yo, Shin versus Dark first round? Animals. Who's seeded this bracket? And that was really fun ZvZ. Really fun ZvZ between Shin and Dark. They did go the distance, did go the way of Dark in the end, but there was a lot to get into in that series. I do recommend the VODs. Likewise, 3-Point versus Classic, also a lot of fun. We had Euthermal, of course, rocking up and also having a good showing. Spirit popping off, barely dropping any maps leading into the finals, but that was mainly on TVT. Like Spirit, he was a beast in Terran versus Terran. We saw here against Dark with a more chaotic opponent. He was having a bit of a harder time keeping up with the tech pass, with the tech switches here of Dark, going into Muta, going into Guardian, switching into Ground Zerg, switching into Swarmhost, for example. Like in the most recent game, Spirit, he had no idea of the Swarmhost transition. He had a bit of a harder time keeping up with it, minimizing losses and yeah, just keeping up with the rotations. So yeah, GG, well played. Dark is our champion. And I'm excited to see what comes next. You know, StarCraft Evolution, are they willing to embrace something more? Are they willing to get into, are we going to be having, you know, another championship in the coming year in 2025? From my understanding, I believe a new Patreon was opened up for the league itself. I know that there is a Patreon for Team Caprulu, true, exclamation mark, SC Evo in the chat. To get a link to the Caprulu Patreon to help fund the mod. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there is a new Patreon for SEL specifically itself. I think maybe Hyper1 can speak a little bit more on that. I see Hyper1 in the chat. But I think to help fund and help support the event, if you enjoy StarCraft Evolution, and if you want to support the tournament series of StarCraft Evolution, then you can do so via Patreon as well. I'll find it. Un momento. There we go. Yeah, it's in the chat. It's in the chat. Patreon.com/SCEvo League is going to be to help fund and support the StarCraft Evolution League. At the moment, these are bi-weekly tournaments and maybe end of season finals as well. And everyone doing his best to help keep this going, to be able to fund it, to be able to provide more of these tournaments in the future. Oh boy. But there are benefits. There are benefits there via Patreon. If you do wish to support the SEL, you can do so. Again, you can do so by supporting SEL or supporting SEEvo. Regardless, that is available to you. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much here for tuning in. Again, it was a great tournament. We had a blast covering the group stage and covering the playoffs as well. It was, it's honestly been really entertaining. It's just really refreshing. Obviously, you know, we're all about SE2 here on the CranKy Ducklings, but StarCraft Evolution is just a really fun mod as well. A really fun mod, a really fun competitive mod specifically, as an alternative to StarCraft 2. So it's always a lot of fun to catch up and to jump into these events and into this mod whenever we can. Of course, SE2 is always going to be our main focus, but it's always nice to branch out here into StarCraft Evolution, and has been a lot of fun. Personally, I've enjoyed dragging Yaku into the fold as well. Yaku was, of course, helping to cast and cover the group stage, so big shout out to Yaku for covering the group stage. Much love. I know that he's also been enamored with the mod and has been enjoying covering it whenever he can as well. I know he's been having a good time. And I'm sure he'll have more to say when we do go over these results over on the podcast. That'll be later on this week. Otherwise, if you want to tune in some more casting here on the CranKy Ducklings, you can do so via following us on all the social medias. We are live. We're live here on Twitch, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, on Kick, on Chijik as well. We're live on every single platform. And you can follow us on all the social medias. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. All things CranKy Ducklings to be posted whenever we go live. And our next cast is going to be in 6 hours? Jesus. In 6.5 hours time, we're going to be live with the Wardy TV Monday. Oh boy. The StarCraft does not end here on the channel. Again, in around 6 hours time, we're going to be live here with some more StarCraft. That is going to be StarCraft 2. That is not going to be on the PTR. That is going to be on the... It is going to be on the current version of the game, bear that in mind, but it's going to be a blast nonetheless. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of good fun covering some Wardy, a Wardy Open Cup, the Wardy TV Monday. That is later tonight, and I believe tomorrow we're going to be live with something else. Let me double check. Just checking our calendar. Tomorrow, okay, so tonight we're live with Wardy TV Monday. Tomorrow we're live with Pegasus Monday, and right after that we're going to be live with the Alima League November Finals. Oh boy. A lot of StarCraft. A lot of StarCraft to come, so there's a lot of matches ahead of us here with Wardy TV Monday, Pegasus Monday, and Alima League as well. We do have the podcast on Thursday, and this weekend we are going to be busy with Home Story Cup. Our regular Open Cups are not going to be available this week. There's no Sparkling Tuna Cup, there's no Sea Duckling Open or Master Swan Open. We have freed up our schedule because we are going to be a side stream, the B stream if you will, for Home Story Cup. So that is going to be an intense cast just because it is at a terrible time for us here in Australia. It's going to be like from 11 p.m. to like 11 a.m. or something like that. It's going to it's going to be a rough one, but we did it last season. You know, last Home Story Cup we were also the B stream, so we'll do it again. We'll do it again. I'll, you know, brew a bunch of coffee, I'll have some snacks, I'll be okay. I'll do my best. I'll do my best to stay sane throughout the weekend of Home Story Cup and sleep as much as I can as well. I'll do my best, Pappy. I'll do my best. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate it. Again, it's going to be a very busy week for us here on the CranKy Ducklings, and we'll see you guys next time. If you guys are unsatiated, if you want some more content, some more StarCraft, some more Duckling action, or at least StarCraft, stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Because our next cast is in 6 hours, I will be going live on my personal channel in a couple of hours. I'm going to take this moment to like take a break from the screen. I need to like touch some grass for a moment. You know, I'm going to go and like probably clean the house and get some food and get some breakfast and calm things down a little bit. And I will be going live in a couple of hours before Wardy TV Monday with maybe some StarCraft ladder. I will be laddering. If you're interested, !light in the chat, and I have you covered there with that if you wish. Otherwise, thank you so much, Blakeadoos, for the $10. Thank you for the tip, Blakeadoos. Thank you so much. Gah, papi gah. Hope you enjoyed the content. Hope you enjoyed the StarCraft. Thank you. Thank you for the support. And yeah, we're going to be heading off. We're going to be heading off for the time being. We're going to be back in 6 hours' time. We'll see you next time. Whether it's in 6 hours, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's the day after, plenty of StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings. Thank you for watching. We'll see you when we see you. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.